or Adrian will be muting all of your microphones, and we will be pushing the record button. So this is your chance to turn off your cameras, and if you really don't want to be identified, to change your names on your Zoom accounts. The questions will be taken over chat. Adrian will be taking them and bringing them to Vincent at the end of the presentation. Okay, we will now be pushing the record button. Oh, we already did. Okay.
I just did. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So everyone, this is Vincent Chien. The presentation is Perception of Flipgrid Among University Students. Professor Chien, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Vincent, and I'm a full-time lecturer at Likyo University. Last semester, I actually had the chance to run this project to investigate students' perception of using Flipgrid, and which is also the application I use in my discussion classes. And here are the findings. All right. So first is introduction. So Flipgrid. If you guys know about Flipgrid, don't know about Flipgrid, Flipgrid is a free online video software. It actually allows students to share their videos and they can reply to each other. What I really like about it is it creates an online community. Okay. And so the goal of this project is I wanted to help students improve their confidence in speaking English. As we know, Japanese students, especially freshmen students, do not like to speak English, or they don't have the confidence in speaking English. So that's one of my goals. And the second goal is I want to increase the interaction among their peers, since Likyo actually decided to move all of the classes online, especially all the language classes. So I hope this is also a tool to increase students' interaction with each other. And plus, for my discussion classes, students actually have to read a reading before each classes as an input. So to check if they've done their assignment, this is a way I check their homework as well. All right, so here are the literature review. So first of all, when we talk about Flipgrid, I would like to mention mall and tell, and also call. Actually, there are researchers saying there's a shift from call to mall due to the flexibility and the mobility of mobile devices. So there's a growth of mall because of the popularity of smartphones. All right, and there are also researchers saying there is a shift from call to tell. And Walker and White actually mentioned the difference between call and tell is tell creates the environment. So students have this environment to use the target language. So that's the mall and tell. And for this project, I use Davies TAM, the technology acceptance model, to investigate students' perception. Perception of Flipgrid. But to be more specific, I actually use extended technology acceptance model by Chao and Kwan. So this is the original model, original TAM. In this model, and Davey actually found the positive, significant relationship between perceived usefulness and attitude towards using. And for this, the model that I the specific model I use, this one, the Chao and Kwan, they actually found positive relationship between these constructs, as you can see the ones I circle here. Okay. There are also other literatures investigating similar technologies like Flipgrid. So for example, Web 2.0 or like online communities such as Edmodo, or like voice and video sharing, like VoiceThread or Flipgrid, like you see, and video production. But in these researches, they have some findings in common. First of all, the connection and community online. And second is the opportunity to communicate with each other in a target language. And third is this is more fun and entertaining. And the last is it feeds learners' interest and needs. All right. So with all of those researches, here comes my research questions. I actually got really greedy. So I have 5 research questions. My professor, this is actually my master thesis. My professor was kind of like, okay, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Just go for it. So I have 5 questions. First, I want to investigate spoken fluency and perceived usefulness, ease of use, and to what extent students' willingness to use before or after, how this change. And also, I want to know if Flipgrid can help students' confidence in speaking English. And here's the methodology. So I actually have 105 participants. They are my first year university students from my required English discussion courses. So 36% male, 64% female, 94% of them are Japanese. I actually have classes in 3 different levels. So this is their English proficiency. Level 1 is this first one, 27% of them. Their TOEIC band is about 680 and above, which is CFR B1 and above. My level 2 students are TOEIC band 480 to 679, which is about B1. And my level 3 students are TOEIC band about 280 to 479, which is A2 to B1 CFR. And only 32% of them has experience of studying abroad. And if you look into it, you will see most of these coming from level 1 and level 2 students. My research approach and tools are mixed method research, because I actually want to analyze and examine both qualitative and quantitative data to triangulate the answers and try to find what students really think about Flipgrid. So I hired 2 sets of questionnaires, one in lesson 1 and one in lesson 11, so before and after. I also use students' Flipgrid videos. I transcribe the videos to examine their speech rates for their fluency gain. These are the constructs in the questionnaire and their sources. All right. So for the data collection timeline, lesson 1, I introduce Flipgrid to them and how to use them, all the details. I even make a YouTube video for them and see how to use Flipgrid. And then I conduct the first questionnaire. And for lesson 2 and lesson 10, to lesson 10, each student have to submit a video every week, answering the after reading questions. And then lesson 11, I conduct the second questionnaire. And this is how I analyze the data. I run the collected data through SPSS, and these are the tests I ran through. And for the qualitative data, I code them and then interpret them, and I sorted them out. Later on, I will show you the table of the qualitative data as well. All right, so now here comes the results part. For the results, first of all, the reliability. This is from questionnaire 1. So we can see all of them are above 0.7, so they are reliable. From questionnaire 2, actually, you can see perceived connectedness is below 0.7. So most of them are above 0.7, so they are reliable except for this one. So please bear in mind, anything later, they are not reliable. The result doesn't show it's reliable, so just for our reference, just remember this. All right, so this descriptive data. Here are just some highlights I want to show. So from questionnaire 1, you can see the perceived usefulness. The mode is 4, so they agree. They agree with this. And then their confidence in speaking English is really low. The mode is 2, which means like the biggest percentage chose 2, which is they disagree. They don't think they have confidence in speaking English. and the mean is 2.71. Oh, this is a Likert scale, by the way. So 1 is strongly disagree, 2 is disagree, and 3 is neutral, and then agree, strongly agree. And for questionnaire 2, some of the highlight I want to show is ease of use actually bumped up from 3.3 to 4 and 4.30. So this is a big increase. And also instructor characteristics is pretty good. They agree and they think this will help them. And also mobility is pretty good. It's almost 4 and the mode is 4. So they agree that this would help them as well. All right, here are the t-tests. If you look at the t-test, so I compared questionnaire 1 and questionnaire 2. Okay, so how much it grow? How is there like increase or decrease significantly? For perceived usefulness, there isn't a significant difference. But for other ones, there's significant difference. One thing I really want to notice, draw your attention to, is willingness to use Flipgrid. There's a drop. It's a significant drop. So for these data, I'm going to explain them in a discussion part. All right, here are the correlation. I highlighted the ones that we can pay attention to, but these will also be explained later in the discussion part. All right, here is the t-test for fluency gain. So for fluency gain, you can see from the first video to the last video, there's no significant difference if you look at 1, 2, and 3. But if I only look at level 3, there is a significant difference. So there's an improvement. And I think there's a reason behind it. I'll also talk about it in the discussion part. Okay, so here's the table that shows the top three of the qualitative data in different constructs, which I use them to explain the quantitative data. All right, so let's talk about, let's answer the questions. So this is my discussion part. First, research question 1. So there isn't a significant difference overall. So the first, maybe I actually should remind you question 1. Question 1 is about fluency gain. Okay, it's about fluency gain. So there isn't a significant improvement or overall, except for level 3. There are some possible answers to that, actually. So students or participants' activeness did not last. A lot of them actually did not put 100% effort in towards the end of the semester. They got tired of it. It might be because of the repetition of the task, since they are only answering questions. Second reason might be this is not designed to promote spoken fluency. As Nation said, like a good spoken fluency activity should have like different audience, same monologue, and shrinking time limits, but this is not designed for that. But as we can see, there's a reason why level 3 students improved. I think it's an increased exposure to the target language. If you look at level 1 student, actually a lot of my level 1 students are returnees, or they actually have access to like English speaking friends or those environments. So they don't compare with their original exposure to the target language, it's not a huge difference. But if you look at level 3, who do not have a lot of exposure to target language, now they use Flipgrid and it increased. So I'm guessing that's the reason that they show more significant improvement in this area. Okay, and now is my research question 2. Research question 2 is the use of, sorry, I forgot about this one. So research question 2 is what's the perceived usefulness of Flipgrid. So the mode is 4. That means they agree. They think it's useful. So I think three biggest construct contribute to this area. First one is perceived connectedness. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, this construct is not reliable. The result is not reliable. But if I look at students' answers, their answers, they actually said it's pretty useful because they didn't have a chance to meet people outside, but Flipgrid did give them a chance to connect with each other. And the second construct contribute to this is learners' attitude towards Flipgrid. And students did say like they didn't have a chance to do that outside, but now they are willing to do it. And the third construct will be perceived mobility. Student mentioned this, and actually about like more than 10% of students wrote this exact wording. They say they can use it anywhere and anytime. So they really like it because of the mobility of the Flipgrid. Okay, but as I mentioned, there is there's a drop in there as well. I think for the usefulness, the usefulness, it did not increase much. There's a little drop. It's not significant, but when I look at students' qualitative data, I want to know why. First of all, students mention the nature of the activities because they keep repeating the task and they got tired of it. So they don't put 100% in there, and they don't enjoy it as much towards the end of the semester. And second is lack of peer feedback. I give students feedback every week. So I will shoot a video and then give them a quick feedback. But students did mention that they want more feedback from their peers. Otherwise, they don't know who they are talking to. They just feel like they are just submitting an assignment. So it would be a better idea if students actually give each other feedback and replying to each other and create like a more like a lively online community. All right. And so for research question 3, perceived ease of use of Flipgrid significantly increased. So 3 reasons. First, I think first reason is the simple operation and user-friendly interface. A lot of students mentioned this in the open-ended questions. They said using this is just like using social media. They can film a video from their phone, they can upload it. It's so easy. So I think this is first reason that I think is so easy to use. Second is the mobility. Again, they mentioned it anytime, anywhere. It's so easy to use it. And third is instructor's guidance. In the students' feedback, they said with this instructor's guidance, it's clear and it's much easier, and they feel more comfortable using it. So I think for ease of use, these are the 3 reasons students find it comfortable. And for the research question 4, willingness to use Flipgrid, it did not. There isn't a significant difference, but I think from the number, it doesn't show significant difference. That's what I'm saying. But the reason contribute to before and after are different. So before the experiments, the willingness is low because they weren't sure if it's easy to use, or they were lack of confidence. Even though they have already learned English for like at least 6 to 9 years, they did not have a chance to speak English. So when you ask them to film themselves speaking English and upload it to Flipgrid, they don't have that confidence. But after the experiments, the reason is completely different. They found it easy to use, but the willingness is still low. It's because some of students mentioned that they felt very embarrassed when they upload their videos. And some of them mentioned that they actually want to try something new after using Flipgrid for 1 semester. they want to try other application as well. So even though the numbers stays the same or like not different, the reasons are completely different. And research question 5 would be students' confidence. There is a significant increase in students' confidence, which I was very happy when I saw the results. The first reason is the opportunity to speak English. Like I mentioned earlier, especially for level 3, they have more and more chances to speak English with this application and with the classes. So student did say this, like little by little, the more I practice English, the more I enjoy speaking English. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is the focus on how to use language. They mentioned in their open-ended question that before they join university, they only learn grammar and vocabulary, but they didn't learn how to use this language. But now they actually learn coolio, and then now they can actually learn to use the language, and they find it more fun because they don't have to worry about making mistakes anymore. And then also the encouragement from instructor. I'm not like actually praising myself, but student did mention that if they get some feedback or encouragement from the instructor and they feel more confident because you are the authority, and then you kind of give them the gold star on their forehead, and they really it really keeps them going and really want to try more. Okay, I don't have much time, so here's my conclusion. So limitation. Actually, so for limitation, the first limitation is the variable was not clear. So my original plan is I want to do this project with my face-to-face class, but pandemic hits, it's all online right now. So it's not clear that if this improvement comes from, for example, the fluency gain, does it come from the class itself, or it comes from Flipgrid, the use of Flipgrid? So it will also be better if I actually have control group and the experimental group. And the second is the sudden shifts to online learning. Some of the students are, when I do this questionnaire, some of students are trying to think about from the aspect of online learning, but not just Flipgrid. So this sudden shift to online learning also actually makes students nervous, or maybe some of them do not like it because it's overexposure to online learning. And also students' persistence in using Flipgrid, as I said earlier, due to students like they have part-time job at the end, or fatigue, or more and more assignments towards the end of the semester, they do not put in 100%. Then that would also affect the results. The implication and recommendation I would say is Flipgrid can serve as a platform, but not a treatment. So it's a platform that students can get on there, but for the activity, for the treatment, it's still decided by the teachers. And this serves as the tell tool for, I think it will serve really, really well for a tell tool for face-to-face classes, because it's like, it creates an environment outside classroom. I would also say Flipgrid is a very good first step for teachers who want to try tell or mall. So the takeaway from me is, like, now we know students are interested in Flipgrid. They would love to try it, but most of these technology are serving as tools. So actually, we as instructors are the people who decide how to use them and then what to do with them and to bring the benefit to the students. And that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you. Can we give a round of applause?
Thank you.
We have a couple minutes for questions, and in the chat, a question came up asking for your slides, if possible, a link to share your slides. And then a question saying, can Flipgrid be used in ESL classrooms?
Yes. Okay. Can Flipgrid use in ESL classrooms? The answer for me, the answer would be yes. because I actually use the same application when, in Australia. I used to teach in Sydney for 2 years, and I also use the same. I also use Flipgrid in my classes. They love it as well, but the thing is, they also treat it like an assignment. So it really depends on how you use it. But yes, you can also use it in ESL classroom.
The other question, the last question that came in the chat was, did students have to reply to other students' videos giving feedback or asking further questions?
Okay, this is part of my fault and kind of the freedom I gave them. Students can, I encourage them to reply to each other. So you can also see, like, for the first half, maybe like from lesson 2 to lesson 6 or 7, students actually, they are always like response or feedback from other students. But from lesson 7 to lesson 10, the number went down a lot. So that's kind of my fault. It's not mandatory to give feedback, but I encourage them only.
There was just a question asking if you could show an example of what students did, but we are running out of time. It's 6:30 now. So I think we'll need to wrap it up. And so I'm going to stop the recording here.
Okay.
And yes, one more round of applause. Thank you so much, Vincent. And sorry for the kerfluffle at the very beginning for the first 5 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Our apologies. We apologize.
Very much.
No problem at all.
Adrian, wrap up.